You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, King Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Vanderpump Rules After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Vanderpump Rules After Show.
You got the green light. So if you want to, you got the green light. So if you want to,
Bing is for doing. Oh yeah. and welcome to the Vanderpump Rules AFTERBUZZ TV After Show. This is episode 7, In Love with Someone Else, and I'm giving you the green light right now. I'm your host, Jake Dupree.
And I'm Danica Kennedy.
And I'm Kristina Zias.
And I am Michelle Renee.
So let's go. Thank you, Beyonce. Go, go. Green light, go. Okay. So let's start off talking about Laura-Leigh and Jax in the sweatshop. They're sweating it out, getting their little. I thought they were gonna get nasty in that little sweat.
As freaky as Laura-Leigh is, I'm surprised she wasn't on her knees.
Oh, snap!
Yes. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Nothing like a blowjay in a sauna.
But I think the clear door in the front probably was a deterrent for them.
And also her Prozac that morning.
Yes.
Which you can mention.
Child, that heart was beating fast. I was like, you're about to have a heart attack in the sauna.
And she said it twice, too. Like, we heard you the first time. You're on Prozac and you shouldn't have taken one.
That's the bad thing about reality TV for me. I'm like, you can't take that back. Like, most people wouldn't hear you say that in regular life, but it's all over national television that you take Prozac, and you probably shouldn't. That's all I'm going to say.
I mean, I feel like she's very comfortable about talking about her past issues, and I don't even think this would faze her, knowing that everyone that she took a Prozac
really
that
open
morning.
about doing math. So
Yeah.
And that's much worse than Prozac.
Exactly. So I think this is one step up, actually.
Yeah.
And then we also find out not only that she does Prozac, but that her father is in prison. I'm like, this girl is just like constantly stacked, but then all these bad things are stacked, and then she went to Juilliard, like one of the most respected schools for the arts.
Is that true?
Like the art school, yeah.
Like,
She
how
went
do
to
you
Juilliard.
go from like Prozac, my father's in prison. Oh, and then Laura-Leigh is a respected actress. She went to Juilliard. She's done blah 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 blah. Crazy.
I know, but she has so much life experience, so that's probably why she's a great actress, because she has so much to work off of.
Well, he said established actress, and so his choice of words there, I think, was a little off.
Yeah.
Because established to me would mean maybe she's like a working actress.
Not working at a restaurant.
Yeah, and so I think he should have chosen his words differently, but I think he was trying to give her a compliment as to the fact that she went to Juilliard, but yeah.
She's a little
jerk.
cuckoo.
She could be a really good actress, though, because
Yeah, not that
she's
she-
done so
yeah.
many.
Oh, I've got.
Not that she's not good, but she's not established by
When we get to
definition.
news and gossip, I've got a whole laundry list of things that she's done. She's done a lot, so
Oh,
we'll
God.
save it. So stay tuned, please. Stay tuned, please. So then we see Katie go over to Stassi's apartment, and Stassi has adopted a new little baby girl dog who looks like a pug mixed with something else, and her name is Venice because she was at Venice Beach, and there are people walking by with puppies, and she just took one. So good for her. Cute. One thing that came up, though, I was like, what does she do? Does she replace things with other things so that she feels love? Like she replaced Jax with Frank, Frank with the dog. I'm like, can a bitch be alone? No. No.
The bitch needs a bitch,
Yeah.
apparently.
She do. She do.
No, she definitely seems like one of those girls who absolutely always needs to have something in her life or someone in her life, you know, loving her at that moment. You know, she's a serial monogamist.
She is a serial monogamist. What you think?
I'm glad she explained how she acquired the dog, because my question was, I want a dog so badly and I can't really afford to have one.
Me too.
And so they're always like running around with dogs, like multiple dogs. And I'm like, how do they always afford to buy dogs? So I was a little jealous in that moment. And then she explained that she got it at Venice and it was probably sold pretty cheaply, maybe.
Yeah, might have even been free.
Yeah.
Might be like a lot of puppies. Just take it.
Yeah.
Just take it.
So that was my only question.
Yeah, and then we see that Katie kind of wants Stassi and Jax to get back together, and I was like, just leave it alone. Like, let them go at their own pace, which I think that Katie wasn't trying to be, like, you know, overbearing with it, but I think that she likes them together for the sake of the group, to be together.
Well, I love how she did not show any surprise to her and Frank breaking up. She's like, well, I was afraid that this is what was going to happen, and he was going to hurt you like this, you know, but obviously she's been calling the shots all summer.
Yes. And then we cut back to Laura-Leigh and Jax leaving the sweats shop or whatever, and I think that Laura-Leigh is really insane. Like, I just think that there's just something that she was just like, I broke my sobriety 6 days ago. And I'm like, child, keep it to yourself. Like, just please. It just makes me uncomfortable sometimes with all the things that she professes, which I think it's great for reality TV, but her life, I'm like, your life is crazy. And then that she is just saying all these things like 6 days ago, and it's been 5 months, and I didn't go to my meetings and things. I'm like, is she replacing Jax with her sobriety? Is she saying that he's her new addiction? Kind of seems like it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, the time frame works perfectly with it.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like don't people often do this? Or I mean, like if you have an addictive personality, you replace something for something else, right?
Yeah,
And
for sure.
She got really involved with him so fast. That is something like people with addictive personalities do. They jump into relationships and they impulsively do things. So.
And she mentioned, she's like, I do everything hard. I do everything fast. Like, I'm just... So I definitely think she took her focus off of alcohol maybe and put it onto Jax.
Did that.
Intense.
And then we see Stassi, Scheana, and Katie at the pool. And, of course, Stassi shows up with her computer, and she's like, I gotta do work. And then she's like, this is really serious to me. I have to do this article. And then she's eating, like, guacamole and chips and having margaritas and talking girl talk, which I think is fine. But what she should have probably done, and we'll get into this later, that she gets in trouble, she should have just stayed home.
Absolutely.
And gotten her work done. Like, that's the most important
Work
thing to her,
first.
supposedly. Not talking shit about Kristen, who shows up late, but they were just, I don't know. And then she calls her a filthy skank or, yeah, effing skank. And I was like, that's your friend. That's your friend.
Okay, so what do you guys think? Do you think Kristen should have acknowledged Stassi? Because she kind of walks in and says hi to Scheana and Katie, but doesn't even acknowledge Stassi's presence. What would you guys do?
I think that was editing. I don't believe that she would just walk in and not say anything to her.
Yeah, because the
I think
editing
it might have been editing.
made it look like that she was just like, hey girl, I don't know who you are.
Yeah, it
Always
did.
do that on these shows too.
Because I think that if she would have actually done that, there would have been like more drama, or she would have had other comments to make instead of just calling her a skank. I feel like she would have, you know, gone off a little bit more. So I don't know, though. That's
And
just
then
my
we find out that Peter is going to have a meeting with Stassi about bullying Laura-Leigh, which I don't think we ever got to in the episode, really. It didn't show that. But, again, Stassi just goes after Laura-Leigh. And I'm not defending Laura-Leigh, but Stassi is a bully, in which she admits later in the episodes that she did bully her. And she's just like, Laura-Leigh is ugly, and you're like secondhand shopper, basically. Like, you're just secondhand shopping on my boyfriend, my ex-boyfriend. I don't know. It's just, I want Laura-Leigh to just catch a break, but I don't think she's going to get one.
She kind of had it coming, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, they've only been broken up for
And
a week and a half.
And supposedly she is like a good friend, or Stassi was a good friend to her, and she knows how Stassi is, clearly. And I think she likes the drama. I think that she likes to be involved in situations that could possibly be a little dangerous, a little just off
It's like
color.
the thrill of it.
Yeah, it's just like the thrill of the chase a little bit. I don't know.
I agree that Stassi can be a mean girl and comes across that way and as a bully towards Laura-Leigh. But when you see that kind of juxtaposed with her being so emotional, especially with Lisa, which is a little bit later in the episode, and like crying and being really affected, it makes me think that she really felt betrayed by Laura-Leigh, you know?
Me too.
If it was just some random girl in the street, obviously Stassi would still probably talk trash. But it seems like maybe because Laura-Leigh was her friend, that's where all of the anger and hurt is coming from. It's more so anger and hurt versus just like anger.
And supposedly everybody disliked Laura-Leigh a lot, and Stassi was the only one that supposedly was befriending her.
Well, even last week when Stassi was here, she pretty much said, I hate her. I still hate her. She like ruined my life. She stole my boyfriend. I hate her. So she was like very blunt about it.
Yeah.
And I don't think, I mean, you're right. I think she was really felt betrayed.
It's hard to deal with that too, especially like just going through a breakup alone is hard enough, and then having it at work, having the Laura-Leigh situation. Wait, is that her name? Laura-Leigh. I'm like, did that sound weird? I would hate her too. I mean, I always talk crap about Stassi and like her bitchiness and stuff, but I feel for her in this episode because we saw her like open up to Lisa and have her little breakdown.
What I'm curious about, and we may know this, and I just have a bad memory. Do we know who went after who between Jax and Laura-Leigh? Was it Laura-Leigh like, hey Jax, since you're not with Stassi anymore, like let's get together, or was it Jax that initiated it?
Well, supposedly he was babysitting her dog, or she was babysitting.
Okay.
Yeah, she was babysitting his dog, Stassi and Jack's dog together, and then I'm sure that sexual things might have been said or joked about.
Mm-hmm. On whose part? Who do you think would start that?
I think it's probably Jax because he's lonely and wants to get some.
Yeah, I mean, not saying that she still isn't at fault.
No, because she gave in. There's a two-way street right there.
I mean, she is for sure vulnerable, though. And you could tell. I remember from that episode, Jax was like, well, like what you just said. He was watching my dog, and then we went for a hike, and then we went out to dinner, and then we went out to breakfast. Like, what a douchebag. Right?
He always says the douchiest things.
My
and
goodness.
it's like, are you really saying that?
I hope for his sake that he's watching these episodes back and like cringing and realizing that he came off as like a major asshole.
I would hope so, but then we get all the cast members on our show and they're like, he's a douchebag. Even like Tom Schwartz, who's his friend, like a close friend of his, he's like, he's a douche.
How was he the night that you met him?
He was extremely nice, actually. I mean, but he might have been just being nice because, he's probably going to be on the show.
Yeah. Wait, did you guys see, I don't know if you follow him on Instagram or Twitter, but he like took a picture of, you know how they do those polls on Bravo on the bottom? There was that poll, it was like, who's the hottest guy working out at the park? And it was like him, Tom, or Tom. And I guess he got the most votes. So he like screenshotted the picture of it. Like, douchebag's the drinking word of the night.
Douchebag is the drinking word of the night. I think I wrote it down like 5,000 times in my notes.
Seriously.
Well, he is a douchebag, but do you guys think that him and Stassi are good for each other?
Yeah, they're
They
perfect.
both have their
Yeah.
issues. I mean, it kind of works.
But I also
perfect,
think that she could do better than him.
Yeah.
Someone who's younger, probably more successful. I don't know. I think that she is capable of something more.
I think they'll. I mean, I don't want to speak anything ill on anyone's relationship, but I don't see it lasting long term.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't ever imagine them being married in the future.
Could you imagine them having kids and being like
It's just too tumultuous. It's always something, and I don't like. And like, if there's always something, then you do nothing in the relationship.
Yeah, I just feel like they're both too immature at the moment to even like think about that. But I think that she would be a good catch, and she could probably do better. She's cute.
But we don't think that he can do better than her. No.
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 I don't know.
I mean,
they
I
both
think
have their issues.
He needs someone closer to his age. That's how I feel. Someone who's like, maybe can like settle him down more, kind of like whip him into shape a little bit.
I think he needs someone that's a little bit quieter, a little bit more demure, like,
I thought maybe since he's so much older but really immature, it kind of like evened out the ages. Does that work? No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should in theory, I think, but I don't know.
And I feel like Stassi probably whipped him enough. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, what other? I mean, he just needs to grow up on his own a little bit, I think.
Yeah. And then we see another one of his douchebaggy kind of moments when Laura-Leigh's AA/recovery meeting. I don't really know what it was, but I was like, is it legal for Bravo to be showing these people confessions, like the other people in the room?
Isn't it
Laura-Leigh's?
Alcoholics Anonymous?
Yeah, I'm like, I mean, I guess they didn't show their names, but there's a face.
Well, everybody knows you're an alcoholic now.
Yeah.
It's like
Congratulations.
alcoholic actors.
Yeah. Hey, I saw your dad on Vanderpump Rules the other night. Is he an alcoholic? Like, people are getting texts from their friends.
And then we find out that Laura-Leigh, when she was 12, she started drinking. Then soon after, she started doing meth heavily, quote, heavily. And then she started pawning her parents' stuff, her family stuff, for money for meth.
And then she went to Juilliard.
And then she went to Juilliard. So, I don't know. I'm like, do you have to do this crazy stuff to be successful? I mean, I don't think that's true, but it's just strange that she would have this highly esteemed school and have this really crazy sordid past.
She probably got in on a scholarship and that was her like entrance essay. Like I've been through so much.
Yeah.
Not to like dumb down her hard work, but I can see that happening. No.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
a scholarship, write an essay about what has affected your acting and got you to this place that you're at now, and boom, she wrote an essay about meth and alcohol, and she got in.
Well, just straight up, like Juilliard has a lot of drug users in it. Not to
most
be
art schools though.
Exactly. Like it's very artistic and has a lot of people who have lots of deep emotions and problems like that.
So we think that she actually started on meth when she was at Juilliard. Is that what we're saying?
No, I think it was much younger.
No, she was like 14 or something, right?
I thought the drinking was at 14. I didn't know the age for
12.
meth, though.
Do we know how old she is?
12. Oh, 12
the
for
drinking.
drinking, 14 for meth?
I remember her saying that she started drinking when she was 12, and then like a couple years later,
yeah.
she started.
So it was very soon after that.
How old is she right now? Do we
I'd
know?
say probably like 22, 23, somewhere around
so
that.
she's like
early
younger.
20s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel in this particular section, because I know we talk about how she's crazy, and don't get me wrong, I think she's like a little nuts. But I mean, I feel really bad for her because to overcome what she has, what she's overcome is really huge, and to be able to like go into these meetings and try and do something about it. I mean, I can only. That's so tough. And people, this is like a huge battle she's struggling, like more than any of Stassi's petty problems or like Kristen and Katie, you know what I mean? This is a huge
Real life issue.
Yeah, absolutely. And then for Jax too, I mean, you see him and he looks frightened. Like he is scared out of his pants shitless. Like he's like, oh my God, I did not realize like how deep this was.
She's almost a liability in terms of him because he's not taking this relationship seriously, and then here he is going to break it off with her. And he doesn't know what she wants to do. I don't think that he would genuinely want her to relapse into something. And I agree with you. I think that it's really tough for young people especially to admit they have a problem and then try to work it out. So good for her for doing this group.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's just disheartening to see such young people in such a terrible place, but she's fixing it. So I hope that her life now is great, and I hope she's on a great path.
But it is kind of scary that she said that she relapsed like 6 days ago.
Yeah.
Which brings back exactly to what you said about how she could be a liability, because he said he doesn't want her staying at his place alone. I mean, he has his old bar there, you know? Imagine, that's kind of scary for both of them.
I think he was just coming up with like excuses at that point.
Oh, you have no, yeah.
Like, alcohol doesn't make people steal.
But she said she was stealing.
Oh, but I thought she was stealing for money for meth.
Yeah.
But like
She was pawning
alcohol,
things.
but
yeah.
like alcohol, do you really need to steal to buy like a?
He's probably scared she's gonna get
I
into
think he was
alcohol
making
and
it.
then
Yeah, exactly.
be passed out in his apartment, dead, dead or whatever.
But he said, like, I don't want you there taking my things. Or like I come home and my stuff is gone. He made some little sly comment like that. And I personally think it was just an excuse, because really you think she's gonna steal from you. But can I make a quick comment?
Yeah, go ahead.
About the rehab thing? I agree with both of you guys, and I think that it's refreshing for a reality TV show, especially one that's about like partying all the time, to kind of show the realities of substance abuse and to kind of bring light to that, you know?
Yeah, they never show that side.
Yeah.
Thankfully they are.
So I thought that was a positive spin that came out of it.
So as much as things we can say bad about Laura-Leigh in her life, at least she's taking the steps in the right direction. So there's a positive to that. And I hope people agree with us on that as well. And then we see Pandora talking to Lisa. She comes to her house. And one of my friends texted me this while he was watching the show on Monday. He was like, every single person that comes into Lisa's house says, this place is beautiful. Even her damn daughter, who's probably there all the time, this place is beautiful. That's a badass bitch right there. That's a good house. That's a really good house. If someone could say that every time they come in. And I like what Lisa said about Stassi. Pandora is completely fed up, and Lisa said her pain in the ass factor outweighs the useful factor. I was like, that's true. Like Pandora said, she has 25 people that she's responsible for, and they're always on top of their stuff. And here's this one girl who hasn't written an article in 2 months, who's her friend, and she's using her in a way, and she's like, I don't have time for it. So I'm glad they lay down the law for Stassi.
I'm not familiar with Pandora. This is the first time I've ever seen her in any episode, and I think she's awesome. She like just, she carried herself as a woman, as a businesswoman. It's like, I don't care if you're my friend or not, but girl, you are not respecting me right now.
Yeah.
And I love that, because I don't think people do this with Stassi that often, and she like didn't care about it at all.
She
like,
needed
"No."
to put her foot down.
Yeah, totally.
I love her voice, by the way. Pandora. She's so cute, I think.
She
is
sounds
cute.
so regal, and she sounds just so sophisticated for such a young person. I think that's really cool to see. And then, of course, we see Lisa lay down the law and be like, well, you've been effing up at work as well, sir, and I'm sick of it, and we can replace you. She was like, I'm at the point where it's done. And we find out that Stassi these past 2 months have been really, really hard for her. And then we find out how much Laura-Leigh has really hurt her, which I think we need to give Stassi some credit, because maybe, like you two said, maybe they were really good friends, and here's Laura-Leigh trying to like backstab her in a way. So
I just felt bad for her, Stassi.
yeah,
Me too.
I mean, that was very emotional, and I think it kind of pointed out the fact that she like really is passionate about fashion, and that's like really what she wants to do. That was my initial thought, but then I was kind of thinking that she also was just letting the release of all of her emotions go, and that she had just kind of let all these things build up over the summer. And so it seemed like she was crying about the column, but I think it was really just about like Jax and Frank, and like just a hot mess of like
Everything together.
yes.
I think she's a person that compartmentalizes everything and kind of puts up behind this wall of being mean and kind of hard, but I'm sure there's a lot of hurt and a lot of pain that we don't get to see, and I think this was the moment that really humanized her, and you kind of sympathize with her for a second. You're like, she's fighting for something that she really loves, which is writing, and she doesn't want to lose the opportunity.
I don't think so. I'm sorry, like, I like Stassi, but this scene did not make me feel bad for her at all. If you're not doing your job, then you get fired. And if you're gonna call yourself a writer, then you have to freaking write. You know what I mean? So when Pandora brings up that she hasn't turned in a column in 2 months, and she's supposed to hand in 2 every week, like, I don't care if you had 2 breakups this summer. Are you kidding me? Like, I don't know. I wouldn't sympathize with that.
Yeah, it's tough.
I felt bad for her, but it's also like she needs to get her priorities straight.
Yeah,
you can't be by the
totally.
pool drinking margaritas and talking about stupid gossip all day when you have 2 columns that you were supposed to write months ago. I did feel bad for her though when she was at Lisa's crying though. Like, I had a soft spot in my heart for her, and I was like, she's going through a lot. I don't know.
She is, totally.
And I think there's always a point at any job where it's like there's a point where you maybe start kind of slipping a little bit, and you have to get put back in your place. And there's an emotional part because you're like, oh, I really like this job, and I don't intentionally do things to maybe screw it up, but you do sometimes. There's always like, I feel like it's at like 6 month, 8 month mark or whatever if you're at a job, and there's always something that just comes up. At least that's with me. I have done that before. So I like that moment because it's a very real moment. I don't know. I just really enjoyed that. And then, of course, they give Stassi another chance, which I'm glad, I knew they would for the purpose of the show. But I think she means a lot to them and their family as well. So it was nice to see that. Yeah. We're all like pondering for a moment.
Well, tell us what you think. Tell us if you are sympathizing with Stassi or if you think those were just crocodile tears. You can go to iTunes and rate and comment on our after show. When you rate, go ahead and give us 5 stars. Thank you. Tell a friend. It only takes a minute, and we obviously want to know how to improve, and we want your opinions. So thanks.
Send us some love.
And then, of course, we get to the workout section where 2 Toms and a Jax are working out at the park. They're not really working out. They're just kind of like venting to each other. And I like that Tom Sandoval came out to Jax and was like, I will never trust her. I will never trust Stassi. And then he said in the interview that she treats her exes like possessions. And it's like, after you've broken up, they're not yours anymore. You don't own them. In a sense, I guess.
I feel like a lot of girls do this.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
I guess I guess a lot of girls do this. Yeah.
No, I don't think that. I think that includes guys, too. I don't think
You
that
do?
girls. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess. I mean, people feel like once they were yours, they're yours, and no one else's. I don't know. I don't agree with that. But
A lot of people, they get jealous when they see someone you're with move on, though.
Yeah.
Like, if you see your ex-boyfriend with someone else, doesn't it just, like, even if you have someone else and you've moved on, I feel like it's still, like, ugh.
A little dagger.
cringe
Yeah,
a
of
little
course.
bit.
Totally.
Daggers, yeah. I'm thinking about it right now. I'm not going to mention any names, though. Yeah, when she like mentioned that Laura-Leigh liked Peter or whatever, that to me was a little possessive. It's kind of like, you obviously have been with Jax for 2 years, so you and Peter have been broken up for at least 2 years, maybe even longer. Like, if Laura-Leigh wanted to get with him, everyone else at SUR is, you know, mixing juices. So why would you? That's disgusting.
That's gross.
It's true though.
So why, you know, especially with Peter. So that to me is an example of her being possessive over her exes.
Totally.
I think Tom Sandoval always appears to be the voice of reason a lot of times. Like
He's my favorite.
He is. Do you like Tom Schwartz better?
Oh wait, Schwartz.
Yeah.
No, wait. I'm getting confused.
Katie's boyfriend is Tom Schwartz, who's blonde. And then Kristen's boyfriend is Tom
I was
Sandoval.
thinking about him because he always says something really funny.
He's super funny and goofy.
I got them mixed up.
My favorite is Jax. I'm joking.
Sarcasm there.
I feel like Sandoval doesn't like Stassi at all. I actually can't wait to like meet him because I want to hear his personal opinion because, I mean, he made the daggers comment. He like always brings up her flaws, you know?
But his girlfriend is also the brunt of most of her meanness right now, you know, at this point in the show. So he's, of course, going to be on his girlfriend's side. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, we go back to the restaurant, and Laura-Leigh and Stassi are working together, and then Laura-Leigh confronts Stassi, and I was just like, I was like, you have people at tables, and then Guillermo walks by and is letting them argue. I was just like, if that was any other boss, they'd be like, no, get out. You have to get back to your job. But of course, you know, they have to get the content. But I was kind of proud of both the girls for just laying it out. And Stassi made a good point. Laura-Leigh sat down and was like, I don't really care what you think about me. And then Stassi was like, obviously do if you're coming to talk to me. Like, if you didn't care, why would you be talking to me right now?
Okay. Confession, like guilty. I don't know why, but is it awful that I didn't like Stassi when she was crying, but I love her in this scene? I mean, like she's such a bitch, but she just tells it how it is. You know what I mean? I feel like she's like, it's so true. Why are you freaking talking to me and bringing this up right now?
Yeah.
She slayed her.
She slayed her.
I don't even know what to say. Stassi won, Laura-Leigh negative 10.
50.
Yeah. She won for like tenfold. Okay?
Oh gosh.
And I like that Stassi.
I loved it too, but poor Laura-Leigh didn't stand a chance in hell.
Why would she come?
Yeah, she didn't. I think I commend her for trying to step up and be like,
yeah.
I'm not scared of you, but she didn't know what she was up against.
No.
Like,
Stassi's quick too. With her comeback, she was ready. Like
She's
she
good.
had a good like bitch, you come back ready.
I like that she said, she was like, I didn't confront you to your face because I don't respect you. I have zero respect for you. I was just like, whew, it was cold. It was so cold. But I mean, all of her comebacks, Stassi said that to Laura-Leigh. She's like, I have no respect for you, so I'm not going to confront you face to face. So that's why I text you mean things at night, which I didn't like. That it's just bullying, and you're too old for that. We're all too old for that. So just don't even go there. But I really liked Stassi's comebacks. Like they were quick and fun, and you know, that's what this show is about. It's this reality TV, this quick, funny things that you want to hold on to, and Stassi can deliver.
I just liked it because I don't know. I hate when people argue and they raise their voice at each other, and I could respect Stassi for like her quick one-liners and being like, listen, first of all, why is Laura-Leigh doing this in the restaurant? If this is an issue, take it outside. Like it's crazy. And she just didn't take it, and I loved it.
She was condescending too.
She just cut her at the knees. She was like, sorry, you're not going to go up against me.
I know Laura-Leigh's drinking again after that.
Like, I need a drink.
And then Guillermo like lets Stassi leave. I'm like, Stassi is always not working. Does this bitch have bills? Like, I don't know. Does she have bills to pay? Like, how can she just leave work like this on a Friday night, like a busy, super busy night for their restaurant?
Yeah, like why doesn't he just tell them shut up and go to your respective sections
or
and deal with
reassign
it?
the sections? Yeah. Be like, sorry, you're not leaving.
But like one has to leave.
This is like the third time this has happened this season with people in the restaurant. I'm just like, you have to have your shit covered. Like you can't just let people go and not have anything. You know, it just is chaos.
Okay, do you guys think that these people are really working there, or do you think they just bring them in like that night to have this argument, and then they're like, okay, you can go home now? Because otherwise, how does this restaurant like work?
Working.
You know what I mean? How is there any service?
I think it works, but they have more workers than the ones they show us. So they
Well,
can
yeah.
do the drama, like film
Yeah.
this part
Well,
while we have some substitute.
That's gotta
waiters.
suck for the other servers because they're like, oh, God, I have to cover your tables now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For, like for 30 minutes while you shoot this stupid scene.
Yeah.
Like,
And then
it's
get to
their
go home.
stand-in.
And then you get to go home with the tips.
There's camera crews there, which is obviously going to take up space. They probably do it, if I had to guess, maybe like earlier in the evening and not too late into the evening when the restaurant would
It's
be
super
packed.
busy,
Right.
yeah.
So it's a little contrived, I would
6.
say.
For sure, because you're right. They're always kind of like leaning on tables, like waiting for people to come in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like picturing Laura-Leigh right now.
Yeah. Against there, and there's like people walking by. I'm like, you can't act like you have to be like super happy, even if you're like miserable.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know.
I will say though, whenever we went to SUR before our first episode, this like is real life. When I went to the bathroom once, Stassi was talking to some other girl that I don't know because she's not on the show, and was like, "I am so pissed off right now," and was like talking to her like leaning on the bar. Which why am I just now bringing this up, right? But
No, I mean,
yeah. So now seeing the whole like show, like they do that in real
legitimately
life.
do that.
Yeah. So-
Okay.
Okay, then segueing more into the restaurant, Scheana is asked to come and work this dinner that Lisa's throwing for Muhammad. And initially, Lisa tells Peter to not schedule Scheana because Brandy's going to be there. And obviously, she doesn't want there to be issues. And, that's rightfully so. And Scheana gave up her schedule and, like, an audition, supposedly, to work this dinner. And that was so dramatic. I didn't expect that from Scheana to see her get so heated like that. But it's, obviously she missed that audition, which is something that she's super passionate about. So I understand why she's upset.
I think she's just kind of like her and feels like this relationship she had so many years ago like doesn't stop haunting her. And it's
Yeah.
like, when will it ever stop? And I'm sure it's just exhausting,
I understand why she was annoyed, and if I were in the same position, I would be annoyed too. I'm sure anybody here would be. But I think that by leaving, you're crying over spilled milk and you're taking 2 losses. So instead
Yeah.
of missing your audition and then making money for the night, now you're going home, you missed your audition, and you didn't make
Any money.
$200,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think she should have just maybe cried about it, dealt with it, and then kind of sucked it up. And
I thought that I honestly that's what she would do. But I mean, like you said, this keeps coming back and haunting her. And she's like in a serious relationship, so she's like, my life has moved on, let it go. So and obviously next week, Lisa and her can talk about it. Like when can this end? And I don't know if it can because Brandy. I mean, that's a lot of hurt for someone to lose their husband and to find out all these mistresses and things. So it's tough.
Well,
She should have
yeah.
sucked it up, though, I think, because, yeah, it's like she's mad about the audition part. You can't fix that. And what are you going to do? Just go home and cry about it more? You've already, been through it so many times. It's kind of, I feel like it's just time to deal with it and just, live your life and ignore that and just, make some money.
Be
That's
above
what
it.
I thought
Be above
she
it.
should have done.
But, that was an emotional day for her, obviously. And again, we have some more sitting around doing nothing in the restaurant with Jack's upset behind the bar, quote unquote. Okay. And then he talks to Stassi and they go out in the background and back in the little back patio or whatever. And they're talking. I'm like, you two have to work. And then it's well lit. I'm like, oh, this is just so convenient that we can talk about this right now. And he admits that he loves her and he will do anything to be with her, and he's willing to prove whatever. And I was just, and then the statement that bothered me so bad was when he said he would give up the job of a lifetime to be a bartender at SUR just to be with her. I'm like that. I'm like, that is why you're 34 and not making it. Like, your priorities are wrong. I mean, and if he wants to be in a relationship with somebody, good, do it. That's your life, get it. But I feel like he wants more than that. I really don't believe that that's what he genuinely wants for his life.
Well, the funny part is that I feel like Stassi, one of her biggest problems with him is that he doesn't have a job. So now he's saying like he'd rather not have a job and be a bartender and make no money. So I mean, it
So he could be with
it
her.
makes no sense.
it was very ironic.
Yeah.
And I
If
think
he
that.
got the job, she would probably want him more.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Totally.
I mean, like you said, it was just like, what you were saying something earlier about Jax, and now I'm lost.
That
my
he was a
train of thought.
douchebag?
Yeah, and like this is a douchey move. Like it's just strange to me that anybody would say that. I don't know. I'm just super career driven, so I think you need those relationships, obviously. But when an opportunity presents itself, you have to run with it. And if they're not on board with you, the train keeps moving.
We also have heard Jack say in the same episode 5 minutes earlier that he tells girls what they want to hear. He's telling her everything to get her back.
And Stassi was eating it up. She was sitting there like, she was crying, and at the very end, she's like smiling like, I got you eating out the palm of my hand. And that's exactly where she wants him, too.
But you really don't. I mean, not directing it necessarily at her, but when a situation like that happens and a guy is telling you everything you want to hear, you think that you have him eating out of the palm of your hand, but really, he's got you eating out of the palm of his hand.
Yeah, and is he really going to change, too?
Yeah.
They're playing each other.
They're playing each other, yeah. It's a lose-lose.
Yeah.
I feel like they really are kind of the same person. A little bit.
I feel like they're really good for each other with this episode because in the past, in the very beginning, I was like, why does Jax put up with Stassi? And then I was like, why does Stassi put up with Jax? And now I'm like, they're both crazy and they're both perfect for each other in their weird way.
So do you think that after that conversation that she was going to go back with him? It seemed like it. Like there was this cute little moment where it was like sexual tension, and they were like, okay, we have to get back to work. And then we see Laura-Leigh come up to the bar, which I was like, she is mad because they've spent the night with each other for however many nights, and he's not texting her back and responding to her, and all of a sudden she's there. I was really proud of her for this scene. She came completely prepared and ripped him a new one.
She did.
Oh my God, she was like
new
epic.
one.
She was tough. Yeah.
Laura-Leigh won, Jax negative 50.
Negative 10, yeah.
And
Sorry.
it was so awkward when Stassi came up and asked for a glass and then walked away.
And then she didn't say anything. She was like, I'm not getting in this.
No, I think she was trying. I think she knew exactly what she was doing. Like instead of getting into it, she was trying to, I guess, play Laura-Leigh and throw shade her way. But Laura-Leigh was just so focused on bitching Jax out that she didn't even address her.
They called her a hoe or whatever.
She was like, that whore.
Yeah.
You are gonna be stuck with me until I get a gig.
That is good.
Yeah, that was the
sounded
voice
like
that
her.
register up there. Oh my word! But I was proud of her for that moment, though. I was like, that could be a moment where people could see the other side to her, like the real side to her. Because that's true for any girl in any situation. I feel like if you're going to break it off with someone, just be honest. And most guys aren't. Like, and girls too are included in this. Like, you can't just end things just because you want them to end. Like, there has to be an excuse. I think that at least. I think that you owe people respect.
The only thing I didn't like is that she came to Sir to do it, and that she was doing it while customers were in.
Yeah.
She
Like
always does that.
that's bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but okay, so Jax earlier on in the episode says that he wants to slow things down, and then all of a sudden he just stops talking to her. Like, ultimate douchebag move. So I think she was absolutely perfect, and I think her exact words were like, what, you don't have enough respect to like tell me to my face that you don't want to be with me anymore, but you'll fuck me every day without protection.
Uh-huh.
Ouch. Like, boom.
That was the boom moment. Drop your mic and go.
Yeah.
Throw a drink in his face and go. I would have loved to see that.
No, I feel like that's what I love the most is that she handled herself with class. I mean, as much as she could, given that she was at work.
I was just kidding. I was just kidding. I think it was her day off, though.
Yeah, she was wearing normal clothes.
Oh, yeah, you're
And what I
right.
liked is that she didn't yell. She raised her voice, but she didn't like scream, and she didn't act ridiculous, and she also didn't curse except for saying that hoe or whatever, which is not a cuss word, I don't think. But I like that. Like, she came completely prepared, and he didn't have anything to come back to her with.
But I don't think he cared to come back.
No.
Which is
he was
kind of a
over
little.
it.
Yeah.
It's still hurt. Like, she did get her point across. I'm just playing devil's advocate. She did get her point across. I think Laura-Leigh did a great job. But in the fact that he had no reaction, it's kind of like.
Well, another
Reaction enough.
Well, yeah, it's
Yeah.
like.
Another
good for you, but
douchebag move that he did, which when she was yelling at him, she was like, "You defriended me off Facebook." And just, oh yeah, that's right. And that's just so rude to not even text them like, "I don't want to see you anymore." It's just like, "Oh, I'm gonna check his Facebook." Oh,
Well, it's just
awkward.
so lame.
Yeah.
You're
It's
not
like,
in
what
high
a
school.
tool bag, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you don't have the
It's like a
decency, you're
little
34
kid
years
thing.
old, you have to defriend someone on Facebook?
Real mature.
That's real immature.
Not even
Do
a
we think
Facebook breakup or a text breakup.
Yeah.
It's just over.
Okay, you don't text breakups either. Like, the girl deserves a little more respect than that, don't we think?
I have
Yeah.
a really good question, guys. Do we think Stassi told him to defriend her on Facebook? Because I've had that happen to me before. Like an ex of a guy that I was talking to, then they got back together, and she was like, "You have to defriend her on Facebook."
Wow.
Could we not see Stassi doing that?
Oh, I mean, I'm
yeah.
not,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
I still think he's a coward, and he probably did it on his own anyways.
I mean, I don't know. I think that's just food for thought.
It's depending. I mean, we don't know the time frame, too. Is
Right.
like, did the conversation that Jax and Stassi have happened right before that, or was it like a day in between? And she was like, "You need to delete her."
Do you guys think that this would have happened the way it did if he didn't go to her AA meeting, if he like didn't learn more about her? Because it seemed like the more he got into her life, the more he was like, all right, the sex is fun, but like, I'm not in it. You know, he was like, he didn't want to be with her. He just wanted
I think he
to
got
be with her.
scared.
I think that was the period on the sentence. Like, he was like, period, done. Sorry, no more.
I don't know the timeline from the whole Stassi Frank breakup. Am I so close to this? The whole Stassi Frank breakup to their like ending their relationship. But I think that maybe if he heard Stassi and Frank had broken up, that would serve as a catalyst for him to cut things off with. Because I mean, Laura-Leigh was just a placeholder.
I mean,
So yeah.
you can clearly see that she means basically nothing to him.
So I think it would
Having
happen
fun with her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then got the dirty details of how messed up her life was and got scared. I mean, that would scare me too if I was with a guy.
Totally.
And then you find out, like, yeah, you've tried meth. Oh, wait, you did this and this and this
You're a
too.
recovering alcoholic, like-
oh, this is scary.
But-
like, I don't want you to OD in my apartment when I'm gone.
Yeah.
But Jax has
babysit you.
admitted that he had a past too and was wild and crazy and liked partying.
But he also admitted that he has this issue where he really rushes into relationships really quickly. That him and Stassi went on 2 dates and then moved in together. So clearly he knows that he moves really quickly. And then Laura-Leigh was saying how she wants to like sleep over at his house while he's at work. You know what I mean? That's, I don't know.
And he allowed her to do that.
I'm getting
too.
overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So I get it. I understand his issues, but I'm
Well,
like
we
a boy.
will see how it resolves all of next week. I would like to move into some news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Miss Kristen turned 29 on Monday, February 18th, and the entire gang was there, even Stassi, and they were tweeting, you know, all kinds of birthday love messages. So maybe the group is back together, which I kind of like, but I also want there to be some fractures still. So work on that, please.
Well, Laura-Leigh was not there though.
Oh, no. I don't know where she is. She doesn't know where she is, probably. Tom Sandoval and Jax, they both walked in the James Campbell runway show for Vegas fashion presentation, so good for them. I saw they were tweeting they were at a Weezer concert that was the opening night of the fashion event, so cool. Great. And then here we go. I'll say this before I go into Laura-Leigh gossip. Speaking of American Idol, we were talking about this right before. It was a show right before ours. Tom Schwartz was the lead guy in Haley Reinhardt's video for free.
Oh.
Yeah, watch the video on YouTube. He's real cute in it. They're both really cute together. I like it.
That's cool.
Yeah, I need
like
to talk to
that.
you about that because I love her so much. And, okay, so here we go for Laura-Leigh. Laura-Leigh has been on season 2 of Gossip Girl, where she played Amanda Lasher, a new girl who Dan Humphries gets close to. She also had bit roles in Law & Order and Numbers before landing a meaty film role in John Carpenter's The Ward, starring alongside Amber Heard, Mamie Gummer, who is Meryl Streep's daughter. I mean, those are really, and you can watch clips on IMDb, and she actually looks great. She plays like a crazy girl. It's about a psycho ward. She plays crazy, so she knows how to play it.
The irony is not lost on me.
Most recently, she was seen on 4 episodes as Nikki Shannon on The Client List. And I remember seeing her on there. It's really strange because in some of the acting roles she's had really blunt bangs and longer hair, and it's really dark hair, so it's a lot different from what she looks like now. But she actually looks really cute and kind of sweet with these like big eyes. I don't know. So I can see where she fits, you know? And she also rapped We're the Millers, starring Jennifer Aniston, Jason Sudeikis, and Emma Roberts. She's in that movie with them.
She's done work. Good for her.
Yeah, good for her.
Yeah.
I take back my comment.
But this is also not her first foray in reality TV. She did True Beauty, where contestants were secretly judged on their inner beauty rather than their outer beauty. So she was on season 2 of that. I don't know how far she made. I was trying to look in some research, but yeah. So we have some intermixing with some reality TV for a lot of the cast too. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Did you guys know that Scheana was on 2 other reality shows?
Yeah. Queen.
No.
The Hills. She was on The Hills.
Oh, Scheana.
And she was on. What was the other one?
I don't know. I just learned this. I was shocked.
Yeah, I know. But
But
she
I know
was on The
Stassi
Hills.
was on 2.
Stassi
Yeah,
But
Stassi
Scheana was on 2 as well?
Yeah.
Wow, interesting.
Wow.
We have some questions for you, Miss Scheana.
Yeah, we do. Does Laura-Leigh still work at SIR?
All right, so that's the end of news and gossip. Let's move into predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV prediction.
Predictions.
Yes, this is what I need to know. What do you think it is that Jax admits to Stassi to cause her to be upset?
I'm freaking out. I don't know. I want to know so badly.
I have no idea what he's going to tell her.
Me neither.
He got Laura-Leigh pregnant in Vegas.
Maybe.
2 years ago.
That would be it. That's a full circle right there.
Right?
Bringing it all back. But yeah, I don't know. I'm
That'd be
really sad that's
great.
going to be the season finale, though.
Wait, really though, what do you guys think it could be? It has to be something, obviously, that he did. She's like got her mascara running and shit. She's upset.
Yeah, it ain't a good look.
I don't know.
I think you guys are barking up the wrong tree. I think it's going to be something that somebody else did that he knows about that's going to set her off.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was going to say that, but I think it's more editing. Like,
Yeah,
you know how
makes it
they
look more
edit it and
dramatic.
they make it look like the one person insulted the other person, but then you watch the episode and you're like, wait, that's not how it looked on TV.
Like, oh, they're just having an argument.
Yeah, so I would say editing. I agree with what Steven said.
Yeah. So is that it for predictions for you?
No, I want to know what that photo shoot is for.
Oh, it looked like it was
Oh,
for
and
the
it looked like
restaurant
they were
or
gonna
something.
kiss.
Because it was all the servers, it looked like.
Are you going to do that for the restaurant?
Yeah, maybe.
Or
Is it-
the fashion magazine is what I was thinking.
I
Divine
predict that
addiction.
Jax does not have a big penis.
Yeah. I think
He needs
that
some
we
more socks.
He can prove it when he comes here.
He's coming.
Yes. Let's hope so. Well, thank you guys so much for watching our
She
show.
said was that.
I'm your host, Jake Dupree. You can find me at Twitter at Jake_Dupree and on Instagram at Jake Dupree. Also, follow our show at Vanderpump Rules ABTV.
And you can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and my website, danicakennedy.com.
And I'm Kristina Zias. Thank you. You could find me on Twitter, Instagram, and follow my fashion blog all at Miss Zias, MISSZIAS.
I'm Michelle Renee. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Michelle Renee LA, and you can follow my column. I'm just kidding. It's just a blog at theclassybadass.com.
Thank you guys.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Bye. See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.